So I wanted to create a quick little, hopefully a quick little overview of how the standard event works on a pixel. And I wanted to relate it to something that you've all heard way more about than you probably want to, and that is my bedding needs and the company I buy from. This is Parachute that you're looking at, and I need a couple of down pillows. And of course, like an idiot, I went to Facebook and saw a whole bunch of ads for Parachute. They weren't even advertising pillows. They were just like, hey, we're here, and brand awareness, like, oh yeah, I need a pillow. So marketing works. So here I am. I came to parachutehome.com, didn't click on an ad, just went here. And the first thing that I want to point out on my journey to getting a pillow is that if I click up here in my Pixel Helper, I'll see there are a few pieces of information here that I want to pay attention to. Now, the first thing I want to point out is there are two Pixel IDs. So that means there are two accounts that are tracking, ad accounts that are tracking information related to my browsing for pillows by going to this homepage. And that's perfectly fine. There might be an agency that's working with Parachute. Parachute has their own ad account. They're running ads. Maybe they're working with an agency that has their own ad account, and they have the authority, permissions, probably from a business manager, to create ads on behalf of Parachute. But they want to know how those ads are doing, so they're tracking using their own pixel. And that's perfectly fine if you see it. I note that there's a couple of standard events. Page view is a standard event, and it's a standard event that's included by default into the base code that goes on every single page, right? So kind of think of page view as, oh yeah, that means they have placed the pixel, but they're not really using standard events. It's just sort of like included in the default, so they are not going any further than that. But this is kind of what you would expect on the front page. Somebody viewed this page. That's all this standard event is really saying. Now, if we click on that, it's going to tell us a little bit more information. And nothing really here we need to be too worried about. And underneath here, you have this thing called microdata. This is new. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about this right now, but this is sort of a new way that you could include even more data on a pixel, referencing things that are on the page, like a little button. But you know what? That's way too complicated. We're not going to think about that right now. Let's close microdata right up. Now, there's also a little message here for view content. View content is another kind of standard event, and it denotes something. It says if you ever see the view content standard event, it means there's something special about this page for whatever reason. And we can try to figure out what that is by clicking here. And what it looks like is they're probably using on Parachute dynamic product ads, and they're using Shopify also to track what people are doing. And it can't match products because there's not a product here. So this is nothing to worry about. It's just a little warning, but the developer probably looked at this and said, oh yeah, this is totally fine, not anything I need to worry about. So we're going to ignore that warning for the moment. Okay, so the next thing that I need to do, my cat's here. I don't know what the cat's gonna do. Hopefully nothing. Okay, just a warning, you might hear from a cat. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna leave this, and what do I need to do? I need bedding. So I'm gonna go to bedding, and look, there are bedding needs. What do I need? I need a pillow. Where is the pillow? Where are the pillows? Sheet sheds, material. There they are. Okay, so duvets, pillows, and there we go. And all right, now before we go anywhere, I'm going to come up to my Pixel Helper again, and I'm going to take a look at what we can see here. And the same thing that we were seeing before, right? There's my page view, and there's some microdata, and it's not really showing us anything. And then view content, and again, sort of the warning here. And can't match products. And you know what? That's still fine because we're not really looking right now at individual products, right? They're using Shopify. That's actually really useful if you see that. It's like, okay, so they're using Shopify to sell their their products. And Shopify has this really cool little feature where it will automatically place standard events for you, which is very cool. And so there's this really nice integration with Shopify and Facebook. We're not going to worry about that right now. We're just going to point that out. And we're not going to be too worried about this warning because really we're not looking at an individual product at this point. So I'm going to close that up. Now I'm going to look for a ridiculously expensive pillow that I don't need. All right, and it looks like they have several options here. Now there's a pillow that I really like. I think I'm probably going to get the down pillow because I'm such a sensitive little snowflake and I value my comfort. And I'm gonna, do I want the down pillow or the down alternative pillow? I don't need anything. I want all natural, so I'm gonna go with the down pillow. All right, now, before we start our journey, let's come back up here and see if anything has changed. We have the view content, right? Page view, one thing you should be noticing is that page view is on every single page, right? And it should be. The page view standard event is the default event that's included in every time you place the pixel on your page, like you're supposed to do, it's included in that default. Again, all it really means is that, hey, somebody looked at this page. But what an advertiser can do in consultation with their developer is say, but you know what? There's something special about this page. This page is not just any other page. It's not just like a get to know us page. It's not a fluff page. It's actually about something that's important to us. And that something that's important to us is a product. It can be anything because a marketer can apply a view content standard event to anything that they want to, right? So it's totally up to them. But it makes sense that we're looking at a product, and now we have a perfectly green, no warnings here, view content standard event. Now I'm going to click on that, and what do we see? Hey, this is a product, and sure enough it is. It's a pillow. And what else do we know? Then we have content IDs, and look at this. We have Shopify, and then we have this crazy number here. Now this crazy number here is a unique number that relates to this pillow. Now, that may not seem important to you, but it really is, because every single product on this page, probably using a product catalog that Shopify and Parachute have created together, is referencing a unique item. And now that I have come to this page, Parachute knows that I am looking at this pillow. And they can probably what they can do is create a dynamic product ad for me when I go, sure enough, probably tomorrow, I'm going to go to my Facebook page and I'm going to see this pillow. Not just pillows. Hey, you might be interested in pillows, David. No. I'm going to potentially see this pillow right here. And why wouldn't I? Why would I see anything else? This is what I'm interested in. Because of this information, and this is a parameter that has been applied to a view content standard event, because somebody took the time to say, hey, this is a special page, let's put a view content standard event in addition to that page view standard event, and let's go a little bit further and describe what that product is. It's this. And when we look at this, what we're saying is what Facebook knows and what Parachute knows is it's this pillow right here, right? That's all a parameter tied to a standard event is. It's just saying, hey, this is not just an important page. You are looking at this pillow, and we want to sell that to you a little bit later and retarget if I don't buy anything. So I'm going to close that up, and I'm going to go ahead and close this up as well. And just so you can see what this looks like in the code, I'm going to go into Chrome, and I'm going to click down here, and I'm going to try to view the page source. Now, you don't have to worry about this, right? None of you are going to be asked to be coders. But I did a very simple thing. I just said, hey, show me the source, show me like the code, the matrix code sort of behind that page. And sure enough, it pops up here. And what I'm going to try to do is find that Facebook code. And I'm going to do that by hitting Command or Control F on a PC. And I'm going to type FBQ. Now, when I click FBQ, what that tells me is there is very special code that's or letters that are associated with the Facebook pixel. I know in every single pixel it's going to have them. And so with what Chrome will do is it'll say, oh, it's right down there, so you don't have to look at it. So this is going to bring me, by just typing find FBQ, it's going to take me right to the Facebook pixel. That's important because sometimes people don't put the Facebook pixel where we tell them to. They just put it wherever they want to. It's really annoying when they do that. And so now I can just very quickly find it and then in my head judge them for not putting the pixel in the right place. But let's ignore that for a moment. We're most likely in the head tag right now. There's my Facebook pixel. Here is the unique Facebook pixel code that relates to my ad account. Every single one of you have an ad account number that's unique. And when you created your pixel, you created your unique pixel ID. And so let's just read this as a kind of as a sentence. Hey, this is Parachute's ad account, and this is their pixel that tells us that it's their ad account. And we're going to go a little bit further down, and what I'm hoping to see is a parameter, but they're using some fancy code that is going to hide the standard events, so we're not going to be able to see them. How annoying. That is really annoying. But some cool things that are here, if we read this code, is it's saying, hey, listen for add to cart event. And that's related to the Facebook pixel. So there's a button that if I click it and I add it to my cart, it's going to say, hey, if they perform whatever action we think they're going to perform, add this code, and that is that number, that unique ID that we saw just a moment ago, put that in the cart, and then let me know they clicked that button, right? So we've got view content. Okay, actually, here's the standard event. View content, and then we have that unique number that relates to that pillow. So this is kind of what the standard event view content is doing. It's saying, hey, this is a view content standard event. It's this particular pillow. And if somebody clicks a button and adds this specific product to their cart, make note of that, right? So this is really, really cool. We have basically put a piece of code on this unique page for this unique product. And it's doing two things. It's saying, hey, somebody's looking at this pillow. David's about to buy another stupid expensive pillow. And if he clicks a button, listen for that. And if he does it, send that information. Make it known that he added that to his cart, right? Now, I haven't purchased yet. So let's go to the next page. I hope not everybody is bored at this point. I'm not even going to try and speed it up, because this is the sort of thing that you'll probably have to come back to again and again. Hopefully you're not bored. Okay, so what kind of special pillow do I want? Yeah, I want a soft pillow. Sue me. And do I want a standard or a king? I don't really want a king size pillow, so I'm going to go with standard. And then I need two of them. I know. I need them. Let's just accept it. And they're both going to be soft, and I'm really happy. So I'm about to add this to my cart. Now, what do you think is going to happen when I click this button? I'm going to lose a whole bunch of money out of my bank account. That's going to happen needlessly. And a standard event is going to fire because there's a piece of code that's underlining this, just waiting for me to push this button. And when I click that button, that standard event that hasn't really fired yet, it does know that I'm looking at the view content standard event, has said, hey, David's looking at this. But as soon as I take the next action, adding 2 more pillows that I don't really need, and then clicking on add to cart, a message is going to be sent to Facebook because that standard event was there. It's listening for it, and it's going to say he added it to his cart. And that information is related to me, the unique David Prestage. Parachute's not going to know who I am. That information is going to go into a black box, and then if they want to create a retargeting campaign, they're going to say, hey, we don't want to know who's in that black box. We can't get at it. You're going to let us see it anyway. But create an audience that includes all the people on a particular period of time, let's say yesterday, that click add to cart, right? And that information is going to be pulled out, and they're not going to know, Facebook's not going to know, but I'm going to see this ad because of the actions that I've taken, because of the standard events that are living in the background on this page. This is really cool stuff. Okay, so I'm going to click on add to cart. Now, what happened up here? This went from 4 to 6, right? So by clicking add to cart, what this is saying is, hey, 2 more standard events were released because David decided to add this to his cart. And those 2 additional standard events that fired, one of them I guarantee you was add to cart because I took that action. So let's go here, and yep, we fired the add to cart button. So now Facebook knows that information. I added it to cart. There's this additional subscribe button click. This is what's known as a custom event. And we're not going to go deep into that. But basically, this is just, you can create custom events for everything. And they wanted to create another event that's important to them. This probably means, hey, David, we know that David is on this page. We know that he's subscribed to Parachute. He's a returning customer. We don't know. We don't have to worry about that. It's this add to cart that is most interesting to us. And let's just see if there's any information there. Sure enough, there is. By adding this pillow, which is related to this content ID, which was all in the background, Facebook and Parachute now know that somebody clicked on this, and it's this pillow, not any other pillow, this pillow. And they can create a targeted, segmented campaign because this information has fired. Think of standard events. They're like little reporters that are, and these little reporters perform very specific jobs. Some of them are there to report if somebody's looking at a page. And some of them are there, their sole job, they don't care if there's somebody on the page. That's not their job. Their only job is to say, hey, somebody pushed a button and it's related to adding something to a cart. They all have their individual jobs to perform. Page view's job is like, hey, somebody looked at this page. View content is like, hey, this is a special product. I'm a special product looker, viewer, I don't know, like reporter, and it's on this, he's looking at this pillow. And then add to cart is like, he clicked a button, and they're all living on this page. And the add to cart, again, button that reporter does not say anything unless I perform an action. Okay. So now I'm going to click checkout. I'm going to buy my 2 stupidly expensive pillows. And boom, we've got some more standard events happening. David, you're about to spend oh God, I mean, really, David? But look up here. Let's see what it's telling us. This is a little weird. View content. Well, that's not weird, actually. They just have, so don't worry about that. That just means we're looking at a page. And what I would have expected to have seen here is, maybe we'll see it in a moment when I actually purchase, is like the next step. But there's really nothing there's not a standard event that needs to be here. This is just kind of like confirming for me that you want two pillows. Is this what you want? And then I'm going to check out. So we don't really need anything else, but somebody came to this page and I'm looking at the cart. Now, because I have page view there, I could probably create an audience of anybody that came to a page with the words URL, or with a URL with the words cart in it. And that would be anybody that got to this stage. And we could we could say anybody that got to this stage that didn't purchase. And you can imagine how important that would be. Hey, save 20% off on anything you purchase now, but you have to act now, right? Okay. Let's go ahead and check out. And they want some information. Let's click here. And now something interesting things are happening, right? We have a purchase standard event, and that's throwing errors. hey, the Facebook pixel page didn't load, so information was sent to Facebook. But I haven't purchased anything, have I? It's waiting in the background for me to fill this out and spend my hard-earned money on a couple of overpriced pillows. But I haven't done it yet. So this reporter's like, hey, I'm here, but I haven't sent anything yet. And he shouldn't have. But here's another standard event. I have initiated a checkout. I'm not only adding something to a cart, but I'm at the stage now where I'm going to actually give you my hard-earned details. And that itself is a segmented standard event. It shows more intent than just adding something to cart. He's there. He hasn't quite purchased yet, but he's here. Now, can you imagine how important it would be to a marketer to come back and target me? This person who's got to the initiate checkout stage but hasn't purchased yet, I'm much more intentful than just adding to cart. And that's why there's this intermediate stage right here. So I'm going to go ahead and fill out my details, and I'm going to use ClassPass, and I'm going to autofill forms using my debit card. And I'm probably going to have to hide some of this information because it's going to be a privacy issue, but that shouldn't be too hard. And now, okay, so I've added that. I'm going to continue to my shipping method. And it's going to be the same. Now you all know where I live. Unless I hide it, which I probably will. And then all my details are there. Nothing's really changed here. I'm still in the initiate stage. And I'm going to continue. Again, nothing's changed with our standard event. I'm going to get it for free. That's great. Or I can spend $33 to get my pillows in 3 to 5 business days. I'm pleased to tell you all that I'm not that special. And let's continue to my payment method. And it's going to look for my card. Okay, this is probably where I'm going to hide some stuff. Now, what I noticed is that up here, we have a new standard event. I think it's just the subscribe button click. This is probably a custom event, maybe. This is pure speculation. Yeah, that it's going a little bit further it's like we're segmenting the initiate checkout stage. So what they would be able to do now with these custom parameters is basically show where in the flow I am. There's several different stages to initiating the checkout. I'm like 3 clicks in, which is actually kind of bad. Shouldn't be like that. Maybe they have a reason for it, but I'm showing a lot of intent, right? Like I'm on that third stage of the purchase. Haven't purchased yet, so that hasn't fired. But they've created a standard event to kind of like show, like this guy's even more, like he's gonna buy these pillows. He's really close. A second ago, he gave us some information, but now he's at the credit card stage, right? And they created a custom event with parameters to describe exactly where I am in that process. And again, they can build audiences on each stage of that segmentation with standard events. Okay, so I'm actually going to pause here for a moment. Okay, so I hid my payment method, because that just seemed like the right thing to do. And I hit the submit button and I purchased. My order's confirmed. Your stupidly expensive pillows are on their way, sucker. And let's go look at our standard event. And what do we see? We see purchase, yes. Initiate checkout, nope, because I've purchased. So at this point, they've got me. So maybe I'm going to be in an excluded audience, right? We don't need to give this guy 20% off because he just stupidly purchased stuff without waiting, to see if he might get some money off, right? There's a standard event there that's telling them remember, it was red before, but now, yep, he's done it. It's confirmed. So through this entire process, on individual pages, we have seen standard events describing one particular action or thing that I was going to do. And in some cases, we saw like a button that was just like waiting to fire, but it wasn't firing until I took the action. And that action was like add to cart. And that's all this is. It's actually pretty simple when you think about it. And even though you cannot purchase things while you're talking to customers. You can get to this stage, and you could use Parachute if you wanted to. If they were really just not understanding how all this worked, you could just walk them through the process of just using your favorite website, so long as it had standard events. And then I can continue shopping. Now, there's just one other standard event here. This is a custom event that I want to look at. It's SC High. I don't know what this means. It could mean this is a custom event that they created, but this is somebody who's landed on the purchase page, so they want to create their own sort of like segmented code. We don't know what this is, and probably is not a good idea that's why it's so vague, is like something customer high intender, spend a lot of money. It could be that. If they can actually put this information, they can basically like direct people to specific pages that spent a specific amount of money, and maybe they created a segmented using code. They've like created like a standard event or a custom event that said, hey, this is a high spender. It's probably what it means. High spending customer. Dang it. Okay, so you're going to have plenty of time to explore the world of standard events. And this was just a probably overlong, long-winded, but I hope helpful overview from start to finish of what standard events with those parameters, which is just another word for descriptor, can do. My information, my journey through this website has been recorded. They know who I am. No one's going to know that. It's going to be that information is going to a black box, all of those reporters' details, and just waiting until the time that Parachute's marketer comes along and says, I don't want to know who they are. You're not going to tell me anyway, but I just want to create an audience of people that almost bought a pillow, got to the add to cart stage, but didn't purchase. And make sure to exclude those purchasers. So I would be out. Or they could create an audience of like, hey, I want to create an audience of people who purchased and spent over $140 because I want to try and sell them something else that's really expensive. Or I want to create an audience of people who spent $700 in one visit, because those are high value customers. They can do all that using standard events and parameters. All right, let's close it out.